So, it's been a moment since we've been able to talk about Instagram doing all the Instagram things, but Instagram made a big change recently that we need to talk to you about, like now.
And how to use it to your advantage.
Oh yeah, Instagram, we got your number. We're going to work this out. All right. So Taryn Bear, tearing up my heart. We were talking about this just the other day because you and I both saw this Instagram change and you were like, I don't know if I like it. And I'm like, I'm a little timid as well too. So let's break it down. I'm excited that it has to do with stories. So before, once upon a time, your stories were broken up into increments, as you guys know. So if you had like a minute long video, it would break it up for you. Oh, that's gone now. Those 15 seconds are now gone. If you do a video inside of stories, you can now talk for an entire minute.
Yes. And it has its perks for the creator like me. It makes it super easy to put captions on it. I don't have to put it on every page.
Totes.
But I am also seeing some cons on the other end.
Talk to us about those.
So before, when you would do your video and it would splice it up, say you ended up with 5 videos and somebody watched your first one, they weren't too interested. Instagram would kind of loop back later and your picture would be there and they would like start where they left off. And so they would keep maybe getting little snippets of you and you would keep showing up in their stories feed, basically.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a whole minute, they skip through. They don't see any of that story anymore.
It's like, thank you next.
That whole minute's gone. Yes. Which as a user, sometimes like I do want it to be thank you next, but if you're talking for a whole minute and maybe the first 30 seconds isn't something that's important to them, but the second part is they missed that. They don't get it.
You're right. So there's some strategery is what you're saying. We need to be strategic about what we use and how we do it, especially during the holiday season, because this is your time. And y'all, if you are not selling in your stories year round, I encourage you to lean into that at least during the holidays, because the holidays is the time to definitely make that happen. I need just a sidebar, because if you're not watching it, you don't know. So Taryn's eldest, Davey, is home from school today. Hi, he's just
handing me toys. And you guys, we're recording. Props to him. Like, he has been home with me all day. I have been working all day and poor little guy's been hanging out. And this is like the end of the day. So he's
giving her everything. So if you see a hand coming through, you just probably saw him. He's adorable though. So if we're laughing, that's why. So here are some serious tips on how you can sell through stories, especially remember, because holiday time, people are looking to buy, people are looking for all those things. And so even if you're like afraid of being salesy or spammy, you're not going to be. I trust you. You're listening to this podcast, but also this is the time to do it and lean in because people are looking for it. So here are our top tips on how to sell through stories for the holidays, Okay.
We should pick a new Christmas song every podcast episode all the way through December and just sing that.
Oh, okay. We will do that. I'm here for it.
But tip 1, I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to go tip 1 because this is like my favorite tip. Show your life in your stories. Don't feel like you can't show up and you're like only have to sell something. Like, show up and show your kids homesick with pink eye and you're trying to do work and you can't. Like, that's okay to talk about that. It's okay to show what you're doing on the weekend. It's okay to not always talk about your business.
It's okay to show the say yes to the dress weekend. All those things are so important because remember, that is what is going to ingratiate your audience to you. And it also breaks up the commercials of selling. Think about when you watch TV. We watch TV for TV and not the commercials. But if it was a tire commercial, although I come from home shopping, so that is an entire commercial, but people wouldn't listen to it all the time unless you're really interesting. So think about, like, if you are not sure, think, okay, have I shown enough of the show before I show you another thing to buy?
Ooh, that's a great way to think about it. That I really like that. Cause sometimes I'm sitting and I'm like, gosh, I haven't showed up on stories today. But I'm like, I don't really feel like talking about my business. And it's like, wait a second, I don't have to. Like, I don't have to talk about it every single day. Like, I can just say, I'm eating spaghetti.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe something not so boring, but.
Well, and I always say we're not the Kardashians. People don't, and you're not J-Lo. So people aren't like, what kind of spaghetti was she eating? So you do want to add, which leads to our next thing actually in general, is use engagement stickers. If you really want to show your spaghetti. This past weekend, I was showing dress shopping and I thought, those people probably don't want to see me dress shopping for a wedding dress. So
yeah, we do.
Okay. But for those who don't, I used an engagement sticker. So what I did is I used a poll. Should I go with a sexy dress or should I go with what do I call it? Timeless or classic dress or something like that?
Classic dress.
Classic. And y'all voted up the wazoo one way or the other, or sent me secret messages about what you thought I should do and why. And no, I'm not even joking. I got all these messages. And then I also got things like Taryn going, you're going to show me which one it is, isn't it? But I loved that. Right. So now I have all these new people, some people that I frankly didn't even know were following me, felt like they could talk to me. And I'm so glad you did, if you're one of them, because I was showing my wedding. I was showing my shopping for a dress. And so now I have conversations going on with all these people, which is so fun. Has nothing to do with them buying anything from me. But now they're like, okay, what's happening next? So if I do want to put, which actually I have something I do want to say and put up about social leads today, it's just kind of like the commercial between me showing my life. Just make sure you use those engagement stickers. So polls, you have quizzes, use the quiz wisely. There's a right or wrong answer with quizzes. Also questions, so open-ended questions. And then also you have, what am I missing?
The slider.
Slider. Oh yeah, the slider. Hello.
I like that one. So people can like rank, like, do you like this? And then they could have like, 0 to fire, and you can choose where you want it to go.
Yes. And you can change those up and customize those in different ways. That's huge. Now, here's one thing I want to tell you, because I was talking to some of my my human design, some of my clients, and we're talking about their human design. And one of my clients, she is a, what is she? She's a manifestor like me. And so I was like, listen, you don't like to answer questions. So don't put the question out there if you don't want to answer the question. Like, make it a yes or no if you don't feel like you have the energy to answer open-ended questions. Or let's say you love open-ended questions, then you don't have to put yes or no. Do what feels right to you and your audience as well too. So you can respond accordingly. The next, caveat to this. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, like, make sure when you're posting those polls or like the questions, like you also have built-in time, like the next day you're going to respond to these conversations that you're starting. It's like back in the day where we used to say like, don't post and ghost, like same with stories, but you got 24 hours. Like make sure you're still responding with the people that engage with you.
I call it don't pump and dump, but yes, totally. Yeah. Don't pump and dump.
That's same for breast milk. If you're drinking, it barely transfers over into the milk. Don't pump and dump. That's gold.
Don't pump and dump. But you took the words right out of my mouth. Make sure you reply to that. People are engaging with you. You need to engage back with them. And that is cultivating. And remember, you're also making the algorithm so very happy, which is only going to increase the people that Instagram is going to show your stories to. And that's going to build all the things. So that's huge.
You know what I do too, when there's like bigger people I follow, I do engage on their polls and stuff. And it like naturally gets them talking to me. And I think that's so cool.
And now y'all just think you are the bigger person. So you're the big person. People are engaging with you. You are. This next thing is to use video. I mean, they've made this thing with video that it's a minute long now. Use video. Using video, and especially if you're afraid of live video, it's not live. You can record it again and again, but use the video and have that conversation with people. The thing that the Taryn special on this though is break it up. Don't go the whole minute.
Exactly. Break it up as if like in between your like thoughts, don't go on for a minute. Like we used to be able to do. Like if you're done with that like thought, like stop, then do another story, stop, then do another story so people can follow along with your story.
Right. And then that, like you said, that's going to help. So if people move on from that, they're going to see you again, you're going to pop up. That's how we counteract what Instagram has done, which again is good for the viewer, but you as the seller, the business person, you want to be able to pop up in several different ways, which by the way, seriously, Taryn, chef's kiss, brilliant. That was really good.
Yeah. Thank you. I did my first one and it was like, I was like, whoa, I saw a huge drop and I'm like, there's gotta be a way around this. So you guys, you're welcome. A little full on strategy there.
Love it. Love it. So since you're using video, make sure you use those captions. A lot of people follow along and look at stories when they can't really have the volume up, whether they're at work or they're in bed. Sometimes we're in bed and Scott's asleep and I'm like looking at my stories. I got to keep the volume down, but the captions is what I really, really focus on. So lean into using those captions, y'all. They're huge.
I even will like start with no sound and I'm like kind of looking at the caption to decide if I need to turn my sound on or not. So I'm like, is this worthy of turning the sound on?
Ooh, and you're probably not the only one who does that. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. Mm-hmm. Use those captions. And also let's not forget that it of course is accessible to all or to most, I shouldn't say all, when you use those captions. So you want to make sure that you have a business that is really accessible. So keep that in mind. Next thing, use the link, for the love of God. Use the link option, people.
Yes. How long did we all complain about not having swipe up?
Mm-hmm.
Now we all have the link. Why aren't we using it?
Why aren't you knock? Use the link. Huge, especially when you're selling. So when you're selling something, have the link go directly to them buying it on your website. Don't go with this, but Roxanna, I got to talk to them and tell them about the auto ship and the opportunity to do this and to be a membership. None of that. Don't do it. Just give them the link directly to your website so they can buy. This is impulse. You know how many things I've almost impulsively bought overnight that have to do with weddings. There's so many bridal things. I'm like, I need an outfit for this and this and this. If I have to wait for you to talk back to me, I ain't doing it. I'm going to get something else on whatever website I found. So I encourage you guys to have the link going directly to where they're going to buy. If there's a code or something, put that code on the story, put that on the story a few times, different pages of the story so they know, but get that link there. And by golly, gee willikers, please, please, please. I'm glad that Instagram over the last few months added the ability to preview your link. That way you could make sure it's right. You've never done that? It's really small, but it's right there. It says preview.
I always text it to myself. So then I preview it on my text and then I put it in there. Because
that works.
We all know me and spelling. Like it's probably going to be wrong. So.
Hey, it happens for sure. So if you don't do it the way Taryn does, you can actually do it. If you look and it says this is the link and there's a little preview button and it'll open up the website for you.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Okay. Last but not least, this is yours, Taryn. This is big. You're big on this one.
Yes. So the second kind of fold to you are spending time posting on your stories, trying to engage people. Also go check out other people's stories. Also engage on their stories, have conversations. And I'm not talking about sales conversations. We're not jumping in. Hey girl, I see that you have a pimple. You should try this product on their stories. It's like, something genuine, like you would have a true conversation because it might lead to, hey, Taryn, I see that you actually sell skincare. And you'd be like, yeah, on your stories, I saw that you had a pimple. You maybe wouldn't say that, but at that point, the conversation's more invited, So we're waiting for like the second step in that conversation.
100% engage. And that also makes the algorithm happy. If you're engaging, the algorithm is happy as well too. But when you think about it, you've got such great opportunity right now during the holiday time to just even ask them how they're doing. People want, how's your holiday going? How are things going? It's doable. So dive into that. Even if they're reaching out to you about something random, ask them how they're doing, or you see their story and you, like you said, engage in that and ask them those questions. Those are huge, huge, huge.
Those are huge. So this is like a big gold nugget today.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You guys can take these tips, apply them, and they're going to work very well for you. But by golly, gee willikers, that's my phrase right now. Lean into selling in your stories because it's a great place. A little bonus tip. When you have, let's say you're talking about something that's on sale for a while, make it a highlight. You can also make it a reel. So you make it a highlight and then you can make the highlight a reel. So you can repurpose that in different ways. But you might even have like here's my holiday must-haves. And each time you've got an item that you're promoting, that you're selling, put it into your holiday highlight. And then you can share that highlight link out in all sorts of great places and ways.
Yeah. There's ways like Instagram is getting really creative in how you can repurpose. So you're not always making like the same things. And sometimes I don't like the word repurpose because we're not like taking the same thing, but it's like you're reusing it in a different
Let's call
way,
it
right?
regifting for the holidays.
Regifting. We're regifting you this content.
Yes, you're welcome. That's what you're going to regift it. I love it. Amazing. All right. What's a little behind the scenes from you?
I went and saw Halloween Ends over the weekend. I love you guys. I couldn't watch scary movies for a little while. We lived in Chicago. Chicago was scary enough. I didn't need to think about that. But now, I feel like I've welcomed it back into my life. You are giving me a face.
Oh yeah.
Like
I'm giving you full face. I don't do that ever. I don't like them.
It was fun. No, there were so many little jump scares. And so my brother turns 21 this week. And so every year around his birthday, we go and see a scary movie. So it was fun. It was a fun little weekend thing.
I'm glad y'all had a good time. Wow. Funny story. Scott and I went to go see a movie. I think it was The Gift because he loves Jason Bateman. We're in this theater and there's like, not a lot of us, but there's like, we're in there. Right. And it's a suspenseful movie. And I'm like, I do not want to watch this, but I will watch it because I know you want to watch it. So there's this point where there's a shower scene and there's this moment that seems scary or a little scary. I scream. And because I scream, it makes all the other women in the theater start screaming. Nothing happened. No one died. No one was.
People are like, what the heck? Nothing's scary.
Oh my gosh. And Scott's like, what's wrong? I thought something was going to happen. And like, yeah, he and I to this day will just start laughing and crying about this because it's just so freaking funny because I made the whole, everyone started screaming. I shouldn't go to scary movies. Can't handle them.
No, I won't ask you to go.
Please don't, because I won't do it. So I was home. So we came, Hawaii was amazing. PS, and by the way, it was really wonderful. We had a great time and relaxed and all the things. And I really shut off. I did very minimal work or anything. Yeah.
You needed that.
Yeah. And then we came home and then I went to go pick up Baylor because she stayed with my sister while I was gone. And we did a say the yes to the dress. Cause I'm like, you know what? Let's go now. I'm so glad because like the timing wise, because the wedding is in less than 9 months, less than 9 months. Perfect timing to get a dress. So I went, looked. I didn't think I was going to find it. I think every bride should have that. I was a wedding planner for a while. Every bride should have the experience of going to a beautiful bridal shop and getting like just all that. So I want to say shout out to Marie Bridal Shop. That was the first one I went to. Lauren was amazing. So if you're ever in Arizona, definitely go there. The experience was amazing. I didn't end up getting my dress there. Next day we went to Schaefer's. They were also amazing and fantastic. Chelsea's my girl there. And I said yes to the dress. And it was really cool.
What?
So I was on and I'll tell you more. I'll tell you all more of the story later. But when I was standing there and I was standing in front of like the light and stuff and the long mirror. And I go, I guess I'm saying yes to the dress. And it just came out of my mouth. I go, I was, cause I'm like, oh, I'd never seen the show till the night before. I'm like, I guess I'm saying yes to the dress. And all of a sudden these women from around the corner start yelling. And my sisters and my mom were yelling. And I was like, oh my gosh. But the dress.
Did you cry?
No, I did not. But the second I put the dress on, I was like, wow. I just felt like it just
knew.
I just knew. You saw it. Do you like it?
I am obsessed with it. Obsessed.
Very excited.
I can't say any details, guys, but
it's white.
$1 million.
It
might cost that. I don't know if you look like $1 million.
Thank you. So yes.
So how many did you have to try on to get to the one?
I tried on 5 at the first place, which was really fun because they gave us little clothespins. So I gave one each to my sisters and my mom. And I said, all right, you guys get to pick one dress. The thing is, I need it to be sleeveless. I don't want it flouncy. And I'm like, and I want it to be a little sexy. I didn't want any big, but I'm going to be on the beach.
Ball
so
gown.
I didn't want ball gown. Yeah. Come on. Technical terms, not my thing. And so they each picked one and then I had 2 and the dresses I picked were the worst of the lot. Like I just did the ones they picked. I'm like, oh. So I had it down to 2 Badgley Mishka dresses that were like stunning. But I couldn't decide between them. But at one point I saw it, I'm like, oh, I'm a bride. Like you do that walk to the window. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, this is like, oh my goodness. I couldn't decide. So I'm like, I'll come back tomorrow. I didn't love necessarily spending that much on the dress either.
Yeah.
We had my sister had checked and they had an opening at this other place. They called, said, we have an opening. And when I went there, I had a better idea of what I wanted. And when I tried on that dress, I just knew. So to answer your question, 5, probably technically 6 or 7 at the first place, because they had maybe 8 tops. And then at this place, it was the second dress I tried on. And I was like,
Mhm.
but I tried on the rest of them. We had probably 6 or 7 more. So I probably tried on a total of 20 dresses is what I guess.
Okay, that's a good amount. That's a
Good
good
amount.
amount to know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You feel like I really know? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know you know. You're splenic, so you know.
I know.
It's
And
decided.
so what's interesting is after the first date, my little sister said, she's like, those dresses were beautiful, but you didn't have a reaction. I was expecting some reaction from you. I didn't have it. I'm like, oh. And they were both beautiful, couldn't decide. And then the next day I thought about, I'm like, oh, when I was like, wow. And I just knew, I'm like, I knew, and that my spleen was talking to me, even though I'm like, wow, that's the one. And I seen the video, you can see like the look on my face as I'm walking and I'm like, that's the one. Yeah.
You just felt good.
I just felt good.
Well,
Yeah.
you looked good.
Thank
Like,
you.
and I'm like, oh my God, you could get married right then and there. Like, you
Yeah.
just looked so put together and perfect. Like sometimes when you're trying on in the studio, it's like you're trying to picture the wedding, but
yeah.
There's Davy.
There's Davy. Davy Jones, Davy Crockett. Yeah. So it's I know, and they didn't have to do clippy thingy, so it worked out well. Anyway,
beautiful.
more about that next time.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Selling your stories.